Hi folks, thank you for tuning in, watching my drivel. This video is going to be on the Hills Dry-Pac Pro. It's a unit that's fitted to the EC3000, buy it as an optional extra. It's basically a dry air filter pack that you can mount on your EC3000. So today I'm going to show you how to install it, how to put it all together, and what you get in the box. So let's have a quick look. Right, in the box itself, you'll get everything that you need to install the Dry-Pac. I've already had this one on my compressor. I wanted to check it, make sure that I put it all together right, but all the instructions are pretty well self-explanatory, very easy to follow. If you do get stuck, if you scan that little QR code down there, that will take you to a video to show you how to set everything up. So in the box, as I said, I've already had mine on, so these bits will come in a bag. The bolts are loose inside the bag, so nuts and bolts. Nuts go in that side, and the bolts go in that side. And if you look carefully, you can see that one's bigger than the other. So the small one goes around the frame of your compressor. The larger one holds that tube. So now we've got all those. We have another bag full of the filters. They all need putting in. You get a stick for ramming everything down inside, or putting everything inside that's got a clearly visible fill level. And I'll show you how we go on using that. I've already put the beads in, took the beads back out and put them in there. But you get 2 packs of the beads. Need changing every 10 hours, I think it is. You get a whip for installing that. So basically you take the whip off your compressor from the moisture decanter, screw that into the top of there, then the other end screws into the bottom of your tube. So without further ado, let's start filling the tube up. Right, so here we go. When you get the tube out of the box, it's got the gold bit and the silver bit. Hopefully you can see this properly. So what we do is we unscrew the gold part off the top. We separate these 2 bits. And in that hole in there goes a white filter, particle filter, that you get in your bag. That pushes into the top of there, like so. Then the spring and the white cap, it only goes on one way, obviously the spring sits inside there. That just pushes on top of there like that. So there we go, that's that bit done. That can be put to one side. Now, because I'm showing you, I'm going to be holding my tube in my little vise so I don't spill everything all over my table. Right, so hopefully we can see that there. Yep. Right, so you open one of the bags and you pour it in there after you put in 5 of the activated carbon filters. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've just dropped one. 5. So those 5 carbon filters need going in there before you put any of that in. So using your push rod, you stick one in there and slide that down to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So carbon filters going first. Then we put in the filtering beads, they basically get poured into the top of there like so. Now, because I've already done this, using the fill level on your stick, what you need to do is pop in another one of the carbon filters. That one goes on the top of there. So when you put that in there, the fill level on there should be on level with the top of your tube. Now this is a 4mm thick steel tube, hydraulically rated. It's nickel plated inside and out, which helps keep corrosion away. Nothing's coming through this. It's a heavy duty piece of kit. So once you've got it up to the fill mark, we take the gold bit and stick that back in the top of there, and we simply screw that all the way back down to the bottom, making sure that it's nice and tight. So with that down there, we can take it out of here, make sure that the bottom one's nice and tight. Yep, and that's it. So 5 of the activated carbon filters go in the bottom, then the media, then another carbon filter, and then you put the cap back on the top. Just make sure that you remember to put that little white filter on the inside of the gold bit. So now that we've got it all together, we shall have a look at how we actually mount it onto the compressor. It tightened up like that. That's that one on. And remember, there's a larger side and a smaller side. Smaller side goes onto... Right, I'm back at it. Sorry about that. Somebody brought me something to work on. So, as I said, you've got the larger side and the smaller side. The larger side goes round the Dry-Pac. The smaller side goes round the frame of your compressor. That just goes together like so when you get them right way around. And then using our 4mm Allen key, we just wind that all the way down inside there like that. And then that holds your Dry-Pac where it needs to be. So that's that mounted. So now, as we can see there, we're going to take the original whip, still with the bonded washer on the bottom, and that is going to be put into the top of there. And again, we just wind that in. It says wind that all the way down without wrecking the joint. And then that needs tightening up again with your 14mm spanner. Move that up there like that. And there we go. That's nice and tight, and that's on there. Right, that's your Dry-Pac installed. Everything's tight. Everything's set up. So all that's left to do now is run it. One thing that you will notice with using the Dry-Pac system is that your compressor will take slightly longer to fill up to its starting pressure. That's because obviously the compressor head has now got to fill the Dry-Pac with air before it starts coming out the top of there. The inside the top of the Dry-Pac is a one-way valve which keeps the inside of that at a pressure, and then we just connect that up to whatever we're going to be filling with the quick connect on the end. I've put all the male side of the quick connects on all my different adapters, and just stick your adapter in the end of there, stick that in your rifle, set your compressor up, and away you go. And that's it. All mounted, all ready to go. Right, here we go. All set up, ready to go. I've got my airline coupled up. I'm just going to test this to make sure that we've got no leaks coming from it and that I've installed it correctly. There we go. Been running for a few seconds and it's already starting to fill. Obviously it's now got to fill that before it starts pumping air out of the wick. So if I just lock that off there, you can now see that it's starting to fill quite nicely. So I know that I've got no leaks on my compressor. Woohoo! Right, one thing that I will say while I've got the compressor set up and running, when you bleed it now, you're going to find that you get a little bit more air coming out of there because it drains, or partly drains, the Dry-Pac. Now you've just heard my compressor running. The new compressors make a slightly different noise than what this one does, and that's because some of the internal components in the new compressors have been changed for harder wearing components, so it makes more of a louder sound. I would say tinging sound. But that's because inside the air intake inside here, on the original ones, it's a PTFE ball that sits inside there. On the newer ones, it's a harder material. So as it operates, you get a little bit of noise coming from inside there. There's nothing wrong with the compressor. It just makes a completely different noise to the Generation 1 or the Gen 1s, which is what my compressor is. So please don't be put off when you get your compressor and it's making a different noise than what mine does. That's perfectly normal. Right, I'm going to get some rifles sorted now. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me or give the guys at Hills, drop them an email, or give them a call. They're always very, very happy to help.